Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're talking about a new kind of AI agent that's getting a ton of attention, and for a really good reason. It doesn't just follow orders, it actually learns on the job.
Okay, so let's get into what that really means. Most AI agents out there are what you'd call executors. You kind of have to spoon feed them, right? Give them a super detailed to-do list, all the info, and then they'll get it done. But what we're seeing now is the rise of learners. And these are a whole different beast. They don't just finish a task, they actually learn from the experience, getting smarter and way more independent every single time.
And that brings us to the star of the show today, the Hermes agent. This thing is just blowing up in popularity. I mean, on places like GitHub, its growth is actually outpacing some of the big names you might already know. So let's look at the details. It's built by a group called Newest Research, and it's totally open source, which is awesome. It's also super popular. We're talking over 57,000 stars on GitHub. But honestly, the real headline, the thing that makes this a game changer, is that last bullet point. This is a self-improving AI agent.
Okay, so you're probably wondering, how does an AI actually improve itself? Like, what's the secret sauce? Well, it all boils down to this really cool process called the self-improving loop. You can think of it as the engine that's constantly driving its learning.
This four-step cycle you see here, that's basically the heart of its intelligence. First, it gets a task. Then, it does the task. But here's where the magic happens. It actually evaluates its own results. And if it nails it, it doesn't just move on. No way. It stops, analyzes the exact steps that led to that success, and then it basically distills that whole winning strategy into a reusable skill. It does this by creating something called a skill document.
And these skill documents are incredible. The best way to think about them is like the agent's long-term memory or its own personal playbook. They're just simple files that capture these if this, then that patterns. So next time it faces a similar problem, it just skims through its library of skills to find a play that works. This is how it builds up real expertise from its own experience, So you don't have to keep teaching it the same thing over and over again.
All right, so all that theory sounds amazing, but does it actually hold up in the real world? Let's take a look at a really cool practical test. An agent, they named it Vivian, was given a pretty critical business development task.
And the goal here was super clear. It was told, you're now a business development rep for a tech community called BridgeMind. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to find 10 potential sponsors, figure out who to contact at each company, and then write a killer cold email for a $10,000 sponsorship. So, no pressure.
So, what happened next? Well, the agent got its mission and just got to work. And the results started coming in. And honestly, they came in shockingly fast.
Get this, in less than 20 minutes, the entire job was done. We're talking the research, finding the contacts, writing the email, everything, from start to finish, under 20 minutes.
And it wasn't just fast. The quality was top-notch. I mean, look at this list. It didn't just scrape a bunch of random companies. It identified super relevant, high-value brands in the tech world. You've got Notion, Datadog, Cloudflare. These are perfect fits for the kind of event it was promoting.
On top of that, it cranked out a fantastic email draft that hit every single key point from the prompt. It was really persuasive. But that wasn't even the most impressive part. Not even close.
Because at the very end of the task, after it handed over the list and the email, the agent basically said, oh, by the way, I've created a new skill from this experience. It created a permanent skill called sponsorship prospecting. Think about that. It didn't just do prospecting for 20 minutes. It learned how to be a prospector, and it will have that skill forever.
And that right there, that's why this is such a big deal. This whole experiment points to a fundamental shift in how we think about and work with AI agents.
Yeah, the source material really drives this point home. You can't micromanage these things. You need your AI agents, your AI employees, to be able to actually improve themselves, to learn from what they do. We're moving away from tools we have to constantly babysit and into an era of autonomous teammates that learn and grow right alongside us.
This just completely changes the dynamic of how we work, right? The old way is all about micromanagement, constantly feeding an AI tool context and instructions for every little thing. But this new way, it's about delegation. You give an AI employee a big picture goal, and then you trust it to learn, get better, and remember the skills it needs to get the job done.
So this whole demonstration really leaves us with a huge, provocative question to chew on. If an AI agent can learn a brand new, complex job skill in just 20 minutes, what does that mean for the future of work? Something to think about. That's it for this explainer. Thanks for watching.